Sie was packen. Hello, welcome back to another revision. Today we have a silly game for you where I try to walk my Tribune on the edge of the board up. So, because I wanted to try if that was possible. And now, maybe get into the board view.
We're already there.
Yes. The title, by the way, has to do with the ending. Anyways, now let's get into the game. The first move. White
A
beginning.
decent one.
Yeah.
Always trying to bring the outer army stuff to the front. Yeah.
And you see where this is going.
It's interesting. I mean, normally you have these two diagonals and you are going for them. And now this is
And
not a threat anymore. Yeah, and the center file. And maybe we already noticed that you are a lot safer if you are not in the back corner. When you are cornered, it's getting very inconvenient very fast. Okay.
So, you proceeded with building something here, just bigger stuff. By the way, he knew that I was going for a walk, so it wasn't a surprise to him. And what I tried to do
You said that in the first place, or what?
Yeah, I told you.
Okay. I don't remember. The game, I don't know when we played this game. Shall I have a look?
You can. It was
okay, let's have a look. It was here it's in August. End of August. Okay.
And you might think my objective was to go for this diagonal. My objective really was to get these two out of the way by means of combining them here. So that I could walk.
Yeah.
Very silly, I told you. Yeah, and you kind of try to poke at my center and get space, you know? If we go through here, you have a lot of space. And I do not. So that would be why you... Oh. Oops. Okay, anyways.
A lot of circles. I'm calling them kringles. Because ein Kringel in Deutsch, in German is something round.
Yes,
okay.
So I tried to do this. Again, I told you about my plan. And again, you developed, you got space, big units. No, you could have combined here. A lot of good
threat from your side.
Yes. And for some reason, I decided to block. You know, maybe I tried to get a little bit of room here or something. And you just came in.
Yeah, if you invite me.
Yeah, might as well go for it. And I stepped forward because this was attacking. And I tried now to attack here. And you see it's only defended by 2. So if I would go there, you couldn't take me. So...
And you most likely would not take, you would take Impero.
Yes, that's right. Well, maybe I would take, because there's no kill right now, and I would just take 3 things, go back, everything's fine, you had to move.
Yeah, maybe.
So, you blocked, therefore.
And And this guy is guarded by 2, 2, and an additional 1, so 5. It's absolute solid.
You see where this is going. And you guys,
Yeah.
you mirrored my play.
Yeah. That's a
And
congenial spot.
yes. So I did this in order to build a ballista here, so that some of them could combine. But you, in the next move, I think, thwarted my plans. So.
Yeah, here are some ideas in this. I'm building up Sagittarius, so I'm getting a little more agile, and maybe in the future I can combine here with a Ballista and rolling directly to the front line to the rank where the Tribune is hiding. So maybe.
Or you could
Yeah,
build a ballista here,
yeah.
defended by 8.
Here, okay, here is not so good. Yeah, okay.
That would be. So, but I think it was in this position.
You prevented this, yeah?
Yes, I thought this was very unpleasant for me. But you went in.
Yeah.
So I can't build a ballista anymore. And this is not.
Okay, I'm getting close to the Tribune and I'm controlling this spot where you could build up a ballista.
Yeah, but the problem with that would be if I could attack you now. Maybe something like this. This would attack this and he has nowhere to go. Because everything is defended by my units. So maybe that would have been a good move.
Yeah, maybe, but if a ballista emerges, I could completely blank this out and say, hey, okay, building up another threat on another line, and if you take here, I could take here. It's virtually undefended because you're just protecting with 2.
So let's not get into that.
Okay, it's too far straight. Yeah.
And what I did is I attacked you, and you are not defending anything. And you know, in this position, I would have really liked to build a ballista, but again, not possible. Because the ballista would kind of, you know...
Yeah, I would have been forced to block it somehow.
Yes, and maybe that would have been good, but I had to walk back.
Yeah, because you were under attack now by my Tribune, and there was no point. And what we mentioned earlier in some revisions, yeah, if the Tribune is ahead of the attacker, then the attack is softened because you need the small savvy to participate in the attack. And
yeah, for example,
they are not doing this.
What unit could attack this Tribune from these 2 fields? Well, a ballista could, a Tribune could, and a Centuria.
Yeah.
This is not a Tribune, and if it were, it couldn't combine down, so it wouldn't attack. And the Ballista and the Centuria are way too high for this Equus to construct.
Yeah.
So he can't do anything to attack this Tribune. It's just... They would
This is very instructive because you can prevent an attack by just stepping one step ahead, and yeah, what then? The Equus is too weak.
And so therefore I went back. And let's see, what did you do? I suspect you built something. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, no, taking control of the central file.
And what I did is I posed a stronger threat. So you could either take and lose, or you couldn't prevent, and I can then prevent your threat. And walking in a triangle here. Quite interesting.
Okay. Just stepping out of the spotlight.
And the ballista now can't take here because there's nothing there. And I'm not afraid of losing 3 things because I would attack back. And I would get my material back, and that would be a fair trade.
Yeah, and you would solve this problem here. It's still a sting in your flesh.
And you build a ballista here.
Could we maybe take one step back? There are a lot of possibilities here, or no, not at this point. Yeah, so it's the only ballista, but as we mentioned before, it's nice. It's a bus to the front line.
Yes, and you know, and Bliss is quite handy in the sense that you can it's like a vehicle. You can drive a lot of units very quickly into the line of attack of your enemy.
And the symmetrical pattern is very, very nice. You should exploit this as often as you can because you spare some moves and you gain time.
That's right. Don't forget that symmetrical combinations are a thing. And very important, attacking this actually is a threat. So if I wouldn't do anything, you would go in, you would win 1, lose 2, but you would have a giant attack. You would have 7 pieces.
Or maybe I would step in here and in you attack and I take back and this line opens, or you don't attack and I'm just moving forward, and that's
So that's why I had to do something.
Yeah, now comes the Equus.
Oh god, this is...
And now I went for the attack.
I think it would have been interesting if you took.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Anyways, so he suspected that I would take that, so he took something before he would lose his 3 things. So at the end, our counts are even.
I'm wondering about the time code. Something is wrong here.
Oh.
I don't know. I have to take a look at this.
So the diagonals are quite strong for white, and even the lines. But you know, I have a little bit of power too, so it's quite interesting that our 2 tribunes are kind of opposite to each other, but on the diagonals.
Yeah, they were dancing around a little, swiveling around the center.
A very unusual game, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
And I used my unit that came from here to defend here and here. So
yeah, now yeah, I cannot take here anymore. It's protected completely. And I cannot take here. It's protected.
That would take.
And yeah, my plans with the ballista are, well, I could go here maybe.
Yes, and you came in.
Yeah.
So very annoying because this should all stay in just where it is, and these cannot move really because I can't really defend them, because if I would, you know, could be bad. But I decided to do this anyways because if you would take, upon my retake, I would attack this ballista. And I thought, well, maybe that would be a good thing.
But I guess I'm stepping on the gas, yeah.
Yeah.
Giving an Angor.
Yes, and the idea is that, you know, you're stalling out my threat. And maybe I mess up here. And I think I kinda did somewhere here.
Now I'm completely ignoring this threat because now there is a even better threat because I would take an Equus, you would take an Equus, so that's a fair trade, but I am directly in front of your neighborhood and you cannot step back anymore and you will soon get killed.
Yes.
So you have to do something, yeah.
So for that reason I build a ballista.
But I guess now there opens the next weak spot. Bam.
Yes.
Ooh, this is
And
nearly unpalatable. And now, please.
I'm attacking the Tribune of White, but
I would say we are stopping at this moment, contemplating a little, and maybe our audience can find a way to
you find the winning move or a winning move. There are four.
There are plenty, but I would say there is a clean next in one.
Yes. So very, very interesting next because you kind of have to stop this threat and also threaten the enemy.
Yeah. Okay.
How long do we plan to wait here? 5 seconds from now, or?
Yeah. We already waited a little. I would say, okay, if you don't know, here, this is a unit you have to do something. You have to decombine in the proper way to bring the next. And so may I do it because...
Yes, you do it.
I do it. It's a nice one here. And you can place this one wherever you want. And that's it because I'm doing
attack.
We're touching here. Oh, sorry. So this is always happening when two guys hands off my units.
Okay.
And this guy.
Everything is covered.
You are under attack. This threat is no threat anymore. Here you see, because it's blocked, but you cannot take an attack because now you are under attack. You have to do something. You cannot move here because of this guy that you cannot take because you are one step behind, and you cannot get back because still a control of the Equus. This is really a great next, and I sensed it.
We will end the episode maybe.
Yeah, but it was slipping from my grasp because I didn't notice that I could block it. And now you know why the game is named Ordeal.
And that is where it went downhill. Because you
landslide.
See, this one is defended by 3. This one is 4 high, so I can do this.
From next in one to
you need
lose.
1 unit remaining here. So you have to do something, and you can only walk back. Because
I cannot combine here.
So
this is not nice.
Upon walking here,
it's disgusting. It's unpalatable.
So there are 2 things you can do. You can either actually there are 3 things. You can either walk here, you can combine here, or you can block.
Yeah, but everything would have been better because going to the dark hexes, there is no new possibility for you to come from the back ranks to attack me. You have
but don't forget that I could do this. I could attack you and force you back again, and then I could walk forward. So that would be forced next.
It's over.
Anyways, what happened in the game
and again, because of taking this guy Impero here, This is very
Yeah.
important. If you kill him, you lose the opportunity to still maintain control of these fields with just the servos on top.
So now, in this position, you have to think forcefully, because this is still an X, you know?
Yeah.
So what I had to do is I had to pose a threat again. My threat now is to take you, and you have to step in front.
Yeah, because this field is protected. This is double protected, and
And now, whatever you do, you can either walk here or you can combine here.
yeah,
The
because
next
I cannot
move,
combine to a Hastatus.
the next move is always next,
Yeah,
because that's quite cool, I think.
yeah, that's really cool because
This-
by taking this guy back, he's guarding his Hastatus in front, and the Hastatus kills, and I cannot go here. I cannot. Yeah, if I would had an Hastatus nearby, I would have been a Sagittarius by now, and then maybe escaping here or something, but it was out of the question.
And if you would have walked here, I think I would still have done this. That would block the defense on that one.
Yeah.
So you would have to walk back,
You would take, and
taking
even
here.
I would retake one, but
Yes, this is
it's
the only move you can do, and
yeah,
then I would do something like this.
yeah, yeah,
So
because you are attacking and pressuring and
from next in
one
one,
punch after another. I cannot breathe. I'm just obeying your orders because you are conducting everything.
and from a clean next in one, we go a forced next sequence. I don't know what
You
is.
want to see your dad suffer.
The interesting thing is, even in this position, combining up does not help.
Yeah, splitting. Wait, may I do this? You are splitting up this way.
Not really. That would be a problem still, I
No,
think.
no,
But
you cannot go there because it's protected. You cannot
yes,
go there, and you
can.
cannot combine here. Huh?
I
Ah,
see where the problem is in this position. Uh, you can do this. This is still good. The white, uh, the white attackers take, and what you then do is you take here,
bah.
and it's a threat again on the Tribune.
Yeah, and
The
the
only
tribute. Yeah,
defense you have, because let me highlight that.
yeah, show them.
You cannot combine or anything because of the two Servi and the Hestetus. So you have to take, and then you can take here. And it's all over. And you cannot even retake, because two would remain, and they would kill you.
Yeah. Okay. I
So
guess
for
it was really a nice game, and I'm still no, that wasn't. I was losing my nerves. I sensed the victory. I knew I had something. This is very, very strong. This attack is overwhelmingly powerful, and I did not see that I can block you. This is so simple. Even if I would have done this, would have been better.
you could place him here, and you
And
could
yeah,
have been
hands off, please. So even this would be okay.
or you
Blocking.
could do something like this, which would be a kill without even using this one.
No, that wouldn't be okay. No, because of
No,
this.
that
The
would be
Sagittarius has to stand
okay.
on
By the
this
way,
spot.
the reason why the Sagittarius has to stand there is there's no attack on the field, but this
Right.
unit attacks here.
So you can always blunder. You
Yes,
have to really think it over, all possibilities. It's very complex, but yeah. Anyways,
but
I would say for a beginner's video, it's completely enough.
yes. The only instructive thing the takeaway I would say from this is if you're in this position and you're losing, just attack. Attack here
Hmm?
and a threat, and maybe your enemies will mess up because they're a human. They're not a machine, and they can get anxious, and they can maybe they have emotions. They get a little frightened, and then they die. So
Yeah, the same thing happens to me in chess,
yeah.
but I'm improving by experience. Okay,
Anyways,
we're on the
maybe
goodbye screen.
yeah.
And well, some last words from your side? Uh,
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think I have anything to add.
Nothing to
So
add. So thank you very much
have a
for your
good
attention. Um, I hope this game was completely different for you and mind-blowing as always. So if you want to support us, we like to say this, please give us a like, maybe subscribe, ring the bell, and tell your friends about it. And well, see us soon.
on Tribun.